7 years ago, we put on protective gear and walked into the basement of a laboratory in Pennsylvania. We were there to meet a group of 7 chimpanzees that hadn't seen the outside world in decades. The sound of constant cage rattling in that small, windowless room was deafening, and we were immediately overcome by a mix of emotions: shock, fear, and sadness. But one emotion stood out above all others: a sense of hope. Because at that moment, construction was underway for what would become their new home, thousands of miles away and light years beyond anything they had ever experienced. When we first met the chimps in that laboratory basement, our resources were limited. But we knew that with what little we had, we could drastically improve their lives. We could give them more space, more sunlight, and more fresh air. And we knew that as support for the sanctuary grew, so too could the chimps' home. In our first 5 years, we worked tirelessly to improve upon what we had started. We built a greenhouse that provided a warm, light-filled space for the chimps to spend their winter days, a 2-acre enclosure known as Young's Hill that gave them their first taste of grass underfoot and sky overhead, and a veterinary clinic which ensured that they would always have access to the best veterinary care at a moment's notice. We'll never stop wanting to do more for the chimps, but what we have done so far, with your help, has created a sanctuary that we're very proud of. Now it's time for us to look forward. We have exciting plans for the sanctuary, plans that will allow us to educate and engage more people and ultimately to rescue more chimpanzees. But we must be sure to build on a strong foundation. That's why last year we focused on increasing our cash reserves, giving us greater financial security. And this year we'll begin the work of purchasing the sanctuary property, which we currently lease. When these steps are done, we can begin the next phase of Chimpanzee Sanctuary Northwest. In an effort to give our staff and volunteers the resources they need, we plan to build staff offices, more workspace for volunteers and interns, additional on-site housing for caregivers, and a classroom that will serve our educational visitor program and our unique student internship program. And of course, there are more chimpanzees in urgent need of rescue, so our plans include additional indoor and outdoor enclosures and quarantine space to help us bring in new members to the Cleom 7 family. This sanctuary wasn't built in a day, and it will take a tremendous amount of work to see it through to its next phase. But we are motivated. There are more people to educate and inspire. There are more chimpanzees waiting for their chance. And there are 7 chimps right here at home who remind us that every step, no matter how small, brings us one step closer to our goal: a better life for chimpanzees.